You don't have to do it too. Just one of us.
Do what?
I shouldn't have come.
So are we going or what?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, welcome back to the channel. Boy is back in the house. We're having dinner. We got some wine before dinner. And there's nothing better we would want to do to celebrate and have a good time than crack open some town square.
I'm super excited.
This is the best thing we do. This is when we turn the camera around and we let our patrons, the community, they kind of take over the channel. They send us, do we know what they sent?
No. This is actually the first time that I have no idea what's in here.
You don't know, so you haven't watched either.
I finished putting this together an hour ago. And it takes an hour to get here.
Like, usually, I don't know what's coming up.
I have no idea.
But this time, you don't know what's coming.
There's one that I know because it's a repeat of someone we cut short last time.
Right.
That one I know.
People are having a hard time kind of keeping to the time restraints.
Yeah.
So we're gonna watch it all. But if we have to cut down a little bit here or there to make the overall video not...
I organized those. So I believe the last 3 are people that went over the time limit.
Right. So now, we might have to adjust so we're not like a feature linked.
Right. Yeah. So we'll cut us down. So the reactions will be condensed.
Yeah.
It won't be 5 minutes long or however long these videos actually are. That's just how it has to be.
So before, let's give it as much time as we can. So let's just get rocking. You want to?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, here we go.
Hey John and Town Square people, greetings from Mexico. And now most of you know that we celebrate Day of the Dead here in Mexico, but what most don't know is that actually there's a day for pets, which is today in October 28th. So I wanted to add, here's the altar with all
that's
the
awesome.
Great companions that we have. So I wanted just to add a little bit of cultural baggage to this. Now for the book talk, John and Town Square, I just wanted to ask, what are the most meaningful books you have read? For example, for me, By No Battle by C.S. Lewis. This really get me through a hard time when I was waking up at night, fearful of dying, and this really helped me to just accept that sometime is gonna happen, and that it's nothing wrong. It's just not wrong to fear something that is faith, right? So just accept it. And there's more to it, but I don't have time to discuss it. Also, Drizzt, this is The Hunter's Blades by R.A. Salvatore. It's a trilogy. This is the 3rd one. And why? Because Drizzt is the misfit that has lost his party, so he's finding a new group. And I felt like a misfit at the time, so that's why I think this really helped me to just, hey, I'm gonna fit in, just be yourself. And finally, this is the one that really got me into fantasy, because I love the Middle Earth history, how the world was created, the huge battles of army of Balrogs, of dragon armies, and the mighty of the elves, and everything. So these really got me. I even named my daughter after one of these characters.
Oh, wow.
Finally, most recent ones, Game of Thrones. Martin really got me into reading in English, because this is way cheaper. I get like 2 of these books for the price of 1 in Spanish, so it's saving me quite a lot of pennies. And finally, this one, which is Faithful and the Fallen series, because this really got me to reading. I was like a casual reader where I didn't really look for books, and these got me into BookTube and BookTop, and practically led me here. So this is the one I thank him for.
That's awesome, man.
That is amazing, man. Hey, we are so happy, Adan, that led you here.
Yeah.
Because you absolutely fit in here. I can't tell you how important C.S. Lewis books were to me when I was young.
Yeah, you've talked about that a few times.
The same way. The Narnia books were so important to me, and that was so special for me. We used to live in San Antonio. We used to have that culture and be able to celebrate Dios de los Muertos, and we had so many furry family members. That was super cool, man. Thank you so much for sharing that. That was absolutely amazing.
That's awesome.
Hey, this is Angela McCollister. I have 16 bookcases, and I wanted to show them off. My main collection is fantasy, sci-fi, and historical fiction. The first 8 bookcases are in my bedroom.
8?
She said she had 16.
I alphabetize by author, except for a few bookcases in here that have special editions, or favorite authors. And here is the 8th bookcase in my bedroom. Now we're at Second Library. Yes, I am that much of a dork. Had the sign made by this Etsy shop.
If you want your own Second Library sign.
Yeah, there you go.
And here are bookcases 9 through 12. Again, fantasy, sci-fi,
Wow,
and historical
man.
fiction, other than the teen mysteries up top. I finally was able to pull them out of the closet last year when I got these new bookcases. And if you're wondering about the plastic on the floor, I have cats, and I have to protect my books from the cats. So here's the last bookcase with fantasy, sci-fi, and historical fiction. Plus, I've got a little bit of more teen mysteries across the top. And then finally, my last 2 bookcases. One on the left is mysteries, and the one on the right is mostly nonfiction with a little bit of romance toward the bottom. Hope you enjoyed getting a glimpse of my library. I don't even know how many I have. Bye.
That's crazy.
Oh, Angela, we are not worthy. We just did a shelf tour, and I feel I feel silly. I feel completely silly. That was amazing.
You have what? You have these 2 and then one downstairs?
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of that is a life in theater scripts and stuff. Like, that's awesome.
That's so many.
That is awesome. That is
cool.
beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that, Angela. You make me feel small, but thank you. That's okay.
Trick or treat.
Hey, Andrew.
I'm just kidding. It's always a treat here at Talking Story Town Square. So, spooky season has come to an end, and it's time to wrap up and talk about the books I read, because one of them, John, was a book I had you last month pick to be on my spooky season TBR. But I'm going to go in order. First one's up that I read was I Don't Want to Kill You by Dan Wells. And oh my goodness.
Did you read that? I hadn't read that.
This was a
one.
good book.
I
read the
book
first 2.
Right.
I was kind of expecting the same. But John, you need to get this into your TBR as soon as possible. I know the end of the year is pretty tight.
It's right down there.
So January, February, fit it in, because I know you liked the first 2. This is so much better than that.
Wow.
The character development of John Cleaver is ratcheted up to the next level. The emotional moments in this book are so good. It's under 400 pages, but he gets away with so much character growth, and the plot is great. You need to add it as soon as you can. My second book that I listened to in this case was Between Two Fires, by Christopher Buehlman. And in this one, it is almost like historical fiction meets fantasy, because it's set in France during the Black Death, and a disgraced knight and a girl who sees angels. She's tasked by this angel she sees to go to Avignon for reasons, and it's their journey through. And the horror elements were fantastic. I felt like I was almost like reading something right out of Dark Souls. It was grotesque at moments. There's so much tension at times. And the ending for me was fantastic, especially as a teacher who 2 weeks before I started reading this book was teaching about the Black Death. And then the last one, the one that you recommended, was Summer of Night. And I just finished it today, and my goodness, I am so glad that you picked this. The character work that Dan Simmons does is fantastic. He spends so much time, not just on horror, but on these kids' lives. And the Kids on Bikes vibes are fantastic. And I learn about Dale and Dwayne and Harlan, which I can't stand Harlan, and Mike and all of the kids, Lawrence. They're so well realized because he spends time in these kids' lives that when it's time for the horror elements, you care and you're scared for the survival of these kids. And I can't wait to read the next one. So thank you so much for picking that book for me and giving me a spooky season. That was fantastic, because all of these books were strong 4.5 stars for me, almost that 5-star. And so I had a great spooky season. Thanks, John, and see you next month for the Town Square.
All right, man.
Dang,
That's
man.
awesome.
Well
That's
done.
awesome. Oh, I'm telling you, real quick.
Andrew does have his own channel.
He sure does.
My mistake for not putting it in there. He has said in the email with this submission that he has a knee injury, but he's coming back to make more videos soon. So
Okay.
go down there and sub to Andrew.
Yeah, we'll have it right down there. Oh, man, that makes me so happy. You're supposed to hate Harlan. You're absolutely supposed to hate Harlan. Yeah, man, people don't read enough of the Dan Simmons horror work. You know, everyone loves Hyperion, but I absolutely love his horror work as well. So, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
What's up, John, Jacob, and everybody in the Talking Story community?
Chris.
My name is Chris, and my YouTube channel is A Reader's Journey. Today I want to talk about one of the coolest, best series that I've read in the last few years that I don't think enough people are talking about, and that is the Talents trilogy by J.M. Miro. And book one is Ordinary Monsters.
Oh yeah.
Came out a few years ago. One of my favorite books of all time. Definitely my favorite book in the last like 5 years. And the sequel, Bringer of Dust, just came out in September, and I've just started reading it. But I don't think John has read this. But if you haven't heard of it, this is like a Victorian X-Men or a Victorian Stranger Things, which that's enough to get me to read it.
Yeah, right there.
But it's got these kids that are being born around the world called talents that have supernatural abilities. They're being hunted by forces of like both good and evil. We have like a former Pinkerton detective is trying to track them down. There's an institute in Scotland that's supposedly trying to bring these kids in and protect them. It's got body horror. It's got like magical creatures. It's got these kids with all these cool powers, and this series, the writing is incredible. It's got awesome settings, action scenes, intrigue, really deep and powerful themes. But yeah, if you haven't read this yet, please pick up Ordinary Monsters and Bringer of Dust, the Talents trilogy. It's my favorite series right now. Thanks.
Chris, you have sold me. Like
That sounded awesome.
That did sound awesome, man. Victorian X-Men? Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I actually think I have the first book.
I vaguely remember seeing you have that cover somewhere.
I think it's on my Kindle or Nook when I was doing a bunch of ebooks, and my eyes have been kind of bothered by the screen lately, but I think I do have that first book. Maybe I need to step up and get it physical, so I'll pick it up sooner. But that does sound amazing. And Chris has an amazing channel. We'll have it right down there too.
My bad, Chris. Sorry about that. Down below.
Hey guys, I am so excited to be a part of this. I am a very new Patreon. As a matter of fact, I just signed up for the Patreon today. I'm so excited to support it. I'm kind of new into reading. I never really read a whole lot as a kid, but my fiance got me in to reading again. Funny enough, she's more of a romance reader, so you could probably tell by my shelf I'm more of an epic fantasy reader. But I just wanted to come on and just be a part of a community, and the way you guys like bring your fans on, bring your community on once a month just to talk, I think is really awesome, and it's something I just really wanted to be a part of. And so I just wanted to come and introduce myself. I'm Daniel, and I figured I'd tell you a little bit about what I'm reading right now, which is this behemoth of a book.
Oh yeah, man.
By Brandon Sanderson. Obviously, John, I know that you're about to start this next month. I was not a big fan of Oathbringer. I didn't hate it, but I say I wasn't a big fan, but like a bad Stormlight book is like a great any other book, right? It's like a 4-star instead of a 5. I love the stuff with Dalinar, but I could not really care less about Shadesmar. But Rhythm of War is not bad so far. I'm only about 200 pages in, which is like 20 pages into a normal fantasy book, right? But there's been some cool plot lines introduced. There's one that I really was not expecting, and I'm excited to see how that character deals with it. Obviously, I don't want to spoil anything, but I can't wait for you to pick it up next month and hear what you have to say. I think I'm gonna do the Wars of Light and Shadow read along with you guys. I'm gonna read book 1. I think I'm gonna audio it. It's kind of worrisome because not all of the books are out in audio format, so I'll probably audio the first one and then start reading the rest. But I'm excited to listen to that and then listen to you guys talk about it in January. And, it should be a lot of fun. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on that, too. So thank you guys for having me. It's so cool to be a part of this.
Dude, that is awesome. That is absolutely awesome, man. First of all, that's a great fiance. Hold on to her. Got you back into reading. That's amazing, my friend. Daniel, let me tell you something. For you to share and come on and say, hey, be happy to be a part of the community, that makes my whole week, man. That just makes my whole week. And you make me want to pick up. I was going to wait for later in November, but hearing there's that new plot thread and he wants to see where it's going, now I kind of want to start my November with it.
What were you originally going to start with?
I was going to do
Tchaikovsky, right?
Yeah, but that's going to take a long time to come in because I think it's a British release or something. So
maybe you just go straight to
Rhythm
Rhythm
I
of
go
War.
straight to Rhythm of War and see this new plot thread.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, Daniel, I think you moved me, man. I think you moved me. Okay.
Thanks, Daniel.
I think that's going to work. Hi, Dennis Myers again.
Hey, Dennis.
I wanted to talk to you about one of the books that I showed you last time. I took it off of my TBR. Oh.
Oh,
He's got.
You're welcome, Jacob.
Thank you,
Stone
Dennis.
Cold Witch by Patrick Dugan. This book takes place in our world. In addition, there are Nexus portals. These are doorways into other realms, and they're scattered around the world. Left alone, they would allow all sorts of creatures from other places and demons and all sorts of hellspawn to flood through and kill and maim and do horrible things to the natives. The witches protect and defend, and they keep the locals from even knowing there's a threat. And it's been this way for centuries. Jessica Flood is a young witch who has recently joined a coven. She's one of these young people who just really isn't motivated. She rebels against authority. So she mastered just enough, like one type of magic of the several that she needs to. She got one down, and she just wants to go party, go downtown, and that's when all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
One of the biggest, baddest demons ever decides that he wants to invade the mortal realm and control everything, which basically means the human race would go extinct or enslaved. Jessica is not ready for this threat. And this is her story. It is hard-hitting. It is fun. It's just such a good story. And by the end, you're just terrified that it's all going to come to an end. It's a great book, and I recommend it. The other thing I wanted to mention is up on the shelf last time, there was a swastika up there. I forgot I left it there. That's Mouse. It's a graphic novel about the Holocaust, and if you haven't read it, you really should.
Yes.
It is extremely impactful. And the last thing is I've included a link that I hope, John, if you would just please include that so that people can go look at it. It's a short. This book takes place in Asheville, North Carolina, which makes it particularly important because the link is for a short video about a charity anthology that was put together for the people down in that area. So anyway, thank you very much.
Dennis.
Thank you, Dennis.
Dennis, always shining a light on Self-Pup. Your books are up in December. I can't wait to start them. That sounded awesome.
Yeah.
And we'll absolutely have that.
It is down below. That link Dennis was talking about.
Yeah, check that out. I mean, you went to school in the West. We love the West here in NC, and it was really, really hit hard.
Yeah.
Hello, Talking Story. Today I have my favorite t-shirts. I usually buy one after I totally love a fantasy book. I just want something to keep the memory of it going. So this is my favorite one. It's Hinderstap, and this is from The Wheel of Time, Chapter 12, from The Gathering Storm. It's my favorite Wheel of Time chapter. I just love it.
No.
Hinderstap, Bed and Breakfast. We're dying to serve you. I think you guys just have to read the book to figure that one out.
Yeah.
Another one that I have from The Wheel of Time is Manetheren. If you could see the Manetheren.
You read it yesterday. I did not. The Wheel of Time?
At least Eye of the World to understand that one.
I
That's
should
really
read.
cool because it means mountain home, and I actually have a mountain home. So I think that was a cool one.
That's cool.
Oh,
This one is The Witcher.
That's The Witcher, yeah.
And that is like the symbol of the white wolf. And the swallow. And I forgot what the last one. That's for Yennefer, the one at the bottom. That's my Witcher tea. The next one is Lord of the Rings, Middle-earth's annual Mordor fun run. One does not simply walk into Mordor. This one's cool because it's glitter. Okay, I have a few more. them on my closet here. This
Truth and
one is
Courage.
Truth and Courage. And that's the logo, or not really the logo, I guess. The motto for the faithful and the fallen. And John Gwynn should probably get it copyrighted. This is one when I went to the gym, I had all these people looking at me, thinking it was some kind of military logo. It sounds like it. This is from Lonesome Dove. It's the famous sign, Hat Creek Cattle Company and Livery Emporium. And when you get to that book, you'll get it.
Dude,
The next one is Strange New World.
so.
It's my favorite TV show. And I have one more science fiction one for my other favorite TV show is Harry Vanderspiel is Smarter Than You. That's from Resident Alien.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Bye, Heidi. She's got better t-shirts than I do.
Well, it's a low bar.
Yes, I mean,
Most people have better t-shirts.
and those are two of my favorite shows too.
Strange New World and Resident Alien?
Yeah,
That tracks.
absolutely.
Hey John and Jacob, thank you so much for letting me be a part of this community here. My name's Sam. My channel is iSamwise. It's pretty new around here, and I was thinking of what to share in this video. And if anybody's watched my channel, it might seem obvious, but I was thinking of going for a couple of different things, and then I was at a thrift store today and found a copy of this, Gene Wolfe's Exodus from the Long Sun. And this is actually a pretty special edition because most copies of Exodus from the Long Sun have actually been edited, and they removed a couple of key things that Wolfe does in this book, and so I'm glad I found an unedited copy. These are a little bit tricky to find. Gene Wolfe is one of my favorite authors, and I thought I'd just briefly talk a little bit about why, and why he's been the source of most of my content on my channel so far, and why he's my favorite author, or one of my favorite authors, I should say, comes down to why I love reading so much. And I would boil it down to three main reasons. One, I love reading books that are just pure for fun. So I would point to like the Kingkiller Chronicles by Pat Rothfuss. I love those. They're fun books. They're great. Two, I like reading books that challenge me, that are difficult. And not just in terms of content matter, but also like the difficulty level of reading. So earlier this year, I actually read Dostoevsky for the first time, and that was a challenging read. But I really appreciate that. And then third, also books that I feel like make me a better person. And maybe that's a bit spiritual, soul level, maybe a bit of a metaphysical idea, but I would point to like the Sun Eater books by Christopher Rocchio. I would say those, by reading them, I become a better person by experiencing that story. And Gene Wolfe's books perfectly encapsulate, the ones that I've read, all three of those. Now, different authors can intersect on various levels as far as that goes, but Gene Wolfe's books have been the perfect summation of all three of those. His books are wild and weird and very entertaining, but they're also challenging, at least for me, to read on a certain level, and I have to reread and process things and really think about what he's doing with the text. But I also feel like at the end, when I get to the end of his books, especially the Book of the New Sun, like I come out of that experience being a better person. So I can't wait for the read along coming up, John, and hope everybody watching will join along with us and read the books as well.
Yeah, we are going to get into Book of the New Sun. I think Christopher Rocchio is going to lead us through that. I think
that's right.
Samwise is going to
Yeah.
be with us. So yeah, absolutely. Well, that's coming up in 2025. That's one of our exciting things, because I know it was a big influence on Rocchio when he was writing Sun Eater.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, he says that's like his #1 influence.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he's going to be there with us to lead us through Book of the New Sun.
I'm surprised
Why?
that he talks to you.
Well, yeah, it is surprising. Hey, just a quick break from the show to say a very special thank you to all of our correspondents, our directors, and our producers here that help us build the channel. Together, they do so many things. They help us make decisions. They help us keep the lights on and keep rolling, all the way up to taking over our channel once a month and getting their content on our channel. If you're interested and able, you have any questions about it, right down there in the description box under the Patreon link, you can find out all about it. And just a very special thank you to all of these people. Now, back to the show.
What's up, everybody? Jake here from Nerd Level Rising. I have two things for this month's Town Square. Number one, I want to talk briefly about this, Falling into Oblivion by Aaron M. Payne, or some of you may know him as Bibliotheory from his YouTube channel. It's a really cool channel. And this book was super fun, man. Aaron was nice enough to send me this with some other goodies. There was like this like cyber dragon. I got like a pin of that, some bookmarks, like all kinds of really cool stuff. He signed it, personalized it. It just was awesome to get this in the mail. And this was super, super fun. This is sort of pitched to me as, you know, cyberpunk, noir, detective stuff with some Batman vibes. And I'm like, okay, that sounds cool. I haven't read like any cyberpunk stuff before. I don't know if I've read anything. And so I was like, let me jump in. I want to support other booktubers. I want to support independent authors. Let me give this a shot. And he was nice enough to send it over. Let me jump into it. And this was super fun. You know, there was a couple things with it that didn't hit me perfectly, but 95% of this thing was just awesome and just such a fun ride. Is so fast paced, really punchy. I think that the world in Knox City that Aaron created was really fun. And, well, if you can call it that, I guess. If you read the book, you'll know. But all the detective stuff was cool, and the main character's soul was very relatable and fun to follow. And I flew through this thing, man. I mean, it's like 300-ish pages. I think I read it over the course of maybe 3 hours, 3.5 hours, something like that. Like I flew through it. It sets up a sequel very nicely, and it was great. So shout out to Aaron, Falling into Oblivion, debut novel from a booktuber, right? We got to support, show love to the boys. And then secondly, I just want to throw it out here too, because John is here watching. BookTube D&D is happening. I know he's got his dice, and they're super exciting. I can't wait to see him. Wednesday, November 6th, 1 p.m. Eastern time. We're live streaming it. It's going to be a blast. I'm sure we're all just going to be laughing the whole time. Who knows how smoothly it's going to go, but hey, that's part of the fun. So if you want to know more about that, I have a video on my channel that talks about it more in depth, but just wanted to throw it out, plug it here, because why not? See you next time.
Dude, that is going to be awesome. I do have dice. I did get dice. I don't know where they are. They're way over there.
Did you lose them?
No, I didn't lose them already. I haven't even played yet.
I'm trying to get you in trouble.
Don't do that. So, hey, that is awesome. Aaron actually sent that to me as well. I haven't got to it yet. It does sound super cool. Jake, thanks so much for shining a light on that, and thanks so much for sending that in. And I can't wait for D&D.
That's gonna be fun.
That's gonna be awesome. I'm
hey,
gonna be
John,
lost.
An extended Talking Story family. I'm really excited to be a part, and I'm having a great time. The content's amazing, so big thanks for that. For October, got through some Stephen King. We did The Shining and Dr. Sleep back to back. Also got to watch those movies. That was a really great experience. So highly recommended. And I did The Stand. I'd never read it before. It is in my top 10. Fantastic book. But getting into the spooky stuff, John, you had mentioned reading Tinian's World Tree. You missed kind of a golden opportunity with Something is Killing the Children for spooky season. Spoiler alert, something is definitely killing children. It's monsters. But good thing we have Monster Hunters. This in the form of House of Slaughter. This book is about Erica Slaughter. According to the back here, her name is Erica Slaughter. She kills monsters. That is all she does, and she bears the cost because it must be done. It's fantastic world building, riveting stuff, a lot of political infighting too amongst the houses and the characters in the houses. And they all have different kind of cool responsibilities. Some are solo hunters like Erica, then there are group hunters and technology whizzes and research people. The world building's amazing, and the lore is top notch. So I recommend that to anyone who likes graphic novels. Speaking of which, Transformers, you had mentioned recently of winning an award, deserves all the praise it's getting. Image Comics is doing a Energon universe. So it's Transformers, G.I. Joe, and a new IP called Void Rivals. Actually written by Robert Kirkman of Walking Dead fame. It's kind of one of the things he's doing now. It's an amazing story about some alien races at war with each other. And it turns out they have a lot more in common than they think. And there's a lot of history there and some really intriguing storylines and some badass fights too. So in addition to Transformers, they're doing some solo series for Duke and how G.I. Joe starts and how he gets involved with it. Cobra Commander, the coolest origin story I've read in a long time for anyone, let alone Cobra Commander. How he gets his rise to power is phenomenal. How he gets involved with Destro and the Dreadnoks, and it's just a really cool story. Then you have Destro and Scarlet, each getting their own solo series as well. These are all 5-part mini series, setting up the G.I. Joe comic that's coming out next month in November. So that is it. I hope everyone had a great October, and yeah, have a good November as well. Thanks.
Dude, Mark knows the way to my heart. I'm calling my favorite comic shop tomorrow. I'm gonna look into Something is Killing the Children. That sounds too good.
I'm surprised you missed something by Tinian.
Right, I know. And then I was just talking about how that won the Eisner at Transformers, and he's like right there with it. That is so cool. More comic stuff. Love it. Love it. Thank you, Mark. Absolutely love that.
Also, what a view, man.
Oh yeah, wherever that was, I want to be there.
Yeah.
That was gorgeous.
Guess what? I'm back! It's your favorite 80s synth pop icon, Rick Thunder, and I have a special birthday shout-out message for John! It's John's birthday, and that's a fact. Okay, so back in the 80s, we used to do a thing for birthdays. Now, they didn't have Cameo back then, right? And by the way, this is coming from Brian, your brother from the North. Right here says the North is from your brother in the North. Brian, that's fact. Okay, so back in the 80s, we did not have Cameo, right? And so here I am, now on Cameo. This is like the 17th or 18th Cameo I've been hired for, because, you know, I'm expensive, I'm Rick Thunder, and that's fact. Anyway, John mentioned in the 80s, we had birthdays, right?
Yes.
And now you're having another one, just like you did in the 80s. And it's me, Rick Thunder. Just saying, happy birthday, and that's a fact.
So Brian sent that to you a while ago.
Brian actually sent that to my phone.
I know he did.
Like on my birthday.
He sent it to me as well for me to watch it in the town square email so I could watch it. And I weeks later saw it again and was like, did you mean for this to be a town square submission? And he was like, no, but you can. And I was like,
okay. I mean, that let me tell you something. When I talk about BookTube changing my life and meeting people that I just the most amazing friends. For my birthday, to get that on my phone on my birthday, like, come on.
Brian's a good guy.
He is absolutely one of the best, man. Thank you, my brother.
Okay, hi. Hope you're enjoying the gameplay going on in the background. This month, I did a little bit of reading, and I read Stephen King's The Gunslinger.
Nice.
This. It is abhorrent.
Oh no!
I could not stand it, but I will be continuing because the ending was interesting.
Okay.
And I do think it might become good.
Yeah, it gets better.
This specifically was not good.
Hang in there, Dio.
Well, saucy me. I picked up Iron and Gold by Pierce Brown.
Yeah.
Jacob, I understand your opinions about Morningstar.
Yeah.
Especially the very ending. But I still greatly enjoyed Morningstar. But let me tell you, that ending is fixed-ish with Iron and Gold here. It is it's a lot different, and it was not as. It's a lot more realistic.
Yes.
Than I would say the ending of Morningstar was, which was something. And then after that, I have one more thing. I'm also reading Valdor, Birth of the Imperium, which is a
Do you know
Warhammer 40k prequel book.
Oh, okay.
Probably the earliest that any of the books are set. And it's fine. It's written by Chris Wraith, who I've tried before. He isn't much for me. And I still don't think he's much for me, even though I'm enjoying the titular character Valdor so much. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. And I hope you all have a great day.
Dio, you're doing all the good. Gunslinger. Look, he wrote that young.
Yeah.
It just gets you throw under the word. It gets better.
How much better?
It's one of my favorite fantasy series of all time.
Okay.
But I mean, coming up right after that, you've got Drawing of the Three. And stick in at least for that. If you're at the end of this and you're still not feeling it, it's not crazy. It's not a crazy commitment, and you're still not feeling it. Maybe not for you. I get it. No harm, no foul.
Now I gotta pick up Iron Gold too.
Oh, I've been telling you.
I know.
I've been telling you. It's so different, dude.
I trust Dio more than you.
Well, you're a smart man. Dio seems like he knows what he's talking about.
That's true.
Oh, here we go. We should cut that for time.
Next one is, I promised the last one from someone who I know, but the next one is The Beast of St. Ender by Matt Evanson, is someone who I know from my friend Jason's YouTube channel. He is a good friend of Jason. They've known each other for a long time, but I ended up getting his book because it sounded like the right amount of... It sounded like the right kind of read for Halloween, so I read it last year during the Halloween season, and it is a roaring good yarn. I really liked how this was put together. If you were a fan of Sherlock Holmes, or any of those kind of old, kind of atmospheric type of mysteries, give this book a shot. Though I will note there are no werewolves. It was very disappointing to me, as well as it is for a lot of other people. But aside from that, it's a really good book. Matt's is a really talented writer, and he's also really talented at creating atmosphere and creating these historical settings with a lot of authenticity and really great characters, surprisingly. I would love to see more from this world, and I do know that Matt has written some other things since then. He read a sapphic romance, which is basically a lesbian book, but that's not the point. This is a really good book. I would like to see more from this series, or whatever you want to call it, and I know Matt said he is wanting to, so yeah, Beast of St. Ender is very good. Now, from one that you're probably familiar with, I will recommend The Devil in Silver by Victor Laval. I know you've read Laval. If I remember right, I think you've even met him. So I won't say too much, but basically, I've gotten after you a couple times to read this, John.
Yeah,
but this book is a
you haven't
kind of like the Minotaur in the One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest kind of situation. This is really good, really emotional, funny, angry, compassionate, all those things. This is probably my favorite Laval novel as of the moment. I do also like Ballad of Black Tom and the Changeling. I do need to read some of his other books, but I really do like The Devil in Silver a lot. I really find that he really has that emotional core that really makes horror good. Though I can't say this is a straight horror novel. It's more of a dark fantasy, kind of horror, kind of dark fantasy, kind of protest novel, social satire, whatever you want to call it. But Devil in Silver, give it a shot. It's a really good book. It's my favorite Laval so far, so yeah, I'll just put that down. And the last one I got today is a comic book, and that is, you may have heard of it. It is called Harrow County by Cullen Bunn and Tyler
I've
Crow.
read that. You have? Yeah.
I read this a few years ago for Halloween, because I like to read a bunch of horror books during Halloween time, and I was a bit let down with the last horror comic I read from Cullen Bunn, but my God, what a 180 with this. Really great storytelling, really great artwork. I mean, my God, look at this. I really like watercolor.
The art is amazing.
That is nice.
Artwork a lot, and while I generally wouldn't peg it with horror, Tyler Crook really makes the watercolor art style that he's known for work. I mean, look at that. It's absolutely gorgeous. But I really like this comic series a lot. I've only read the first 2 volumes, but they are very well worth the read. Again, maybe you've heard of it, so maybe I'm just spewing words at this point. But if you haven't read it, give it a shot. It's really good stuff. So, yeah. That is all I have for today. So, till next time, gentlemen.
Nephew. Oh, Britton has a great channel down there too, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Some Okie, dude, check him out. More comics, dude. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Everyone's talking about comics. I talked about how much more you want to talk about.
And Victor Laval. Come on, we love Laval.
Victor Laval coming up is cool.
That is absolutely cool. I have not read that
Devil in Silver.
But that that dark fairy tale horror thing is he does that in Changeling so well.
Yeah.
So you piqued my interest. You piqued my interest, nephew. I'm coming for it. Welcome back to Talking Story. Hey, we are excited because what is today?
All right, I think we are in. We've got this going. Everybody, welcome to this edition of Talking Shop Town Square Hall Story, or whatever it's called. We've only got a couple of minutes before Jacob figures out what's going on and gets us back online. So we are going to welcome you to a very, very special edition of Book Club with a Missus.
You're joking.
How do you do?
My God.
Welcome, Amy. How you doing?
I'm doing great today and on this momentous day.
It is. We love having you on here.
Thank you.
So obviously you guys just had the book club about Frankenstein.
Yes.
Which was awesome. I watched that one.
Thank you.
So we decided, we know Jacob's not the most voracious reader on the planet. So we went back to the last book that he actually finished. Now this one is a classic, originally came out in 1960s, and it was put out by the noted author, Dr. Theodore Geisel.
Oh my God.
We're going to go in on that. And I know we've only got a few minutes before Jacob figures this out. So let's hop right into the world building. I just want to say, I thought this one, while the world building I think was a little thin, I do love the fact that it's got a little bit of everything. I don't care if you're a human, a dog, a bear, a possible human. You're all in there.
Possible human.
I want to talk about the cactus. I mean, the cactus is getting some really, really bad rep in that.
I know, but I mean, flat earthers, we've got you covered.
Sure.
And if you're more one of those global conspiracy theorists where you think it's round, that's covered too. So I'm really into the whole, inclusiveness. But what did you think, and how many stars on our trademark infringing 5-star rating are you going to give it?
Trademark infringing. I'm going to give this a solid 2 stars. I mean, I thought it was cartoonish, flat. I thought it was all over the place.
Harsh.
Really,
That's
plot
harsh.
jumped from one point to another. Where is Mr. Brown? I'm going to sit on this cactus. I'm going to perpetrate some violence against my father. I just couldn't get a hold of it.
What?
I'm going to say it's not his best work, but really, I couldn't be more thrilled that my son finished it.
This is true. Managed to knock that one out on Goodreads, I saw. All right, and so plot. Now, to me, the plot's really where I get lost because it's kind of all over the place. Here, there, everywhere. You're never quite sure what's going on. Me, that was a 0. What did you think of the plot?
I'm with you. I think that's a 0 star for me. Like, how can you follow that? It's like Dr. Seuss is on LSD. We don't know where he's going to go next. Where did Mr. Brown go? Why launch him from the catapult? We never get any of these questions answered, and readers want to know.
Well, it was in the 60s, so the LSD you may be onto something there.
Yeah. Well, his life is very interesting. Previously, he did some work during World War II. Just like I Hate Hitler kind of cartoons, and it all comes back to Nazis.
Okay, and let's move on before we get canceled. Now, the pace really gave it to me. This was very frenetic. I'm telling you right now, if you're going to read this book, go to the bathroom, get your frosty beverage, turn off your phone. You're not finishing it until it's over.
I don't know.
Pacing, I got a full 5 on this. What did you think?
I'm with you. If there were a 6-star, I would recommend it. Also, I'm just going to give it up to my son for finishing this in a weekend.
Yeah. I do believe he had a couple breaks in there, but he did get it.
Oh yeah.
Me personally, it's a non-bookmarker, but
because it's so true.
Pace.
That's right.
Obviously, pros. Now, me, I'm biased on this one. I am a stan for iambic pentameter, and I think that Dr. Seuss absolutely, positively is the top of the line for this. Tolkien, eat your heart out. What do you think on that one?
I'm also with you on this, and I'm going to bring up that he's influenced some of the greats, like Eminem, Robert Frost, some of the most prolific poets of our day look to the Seuss for their rhyming schemes, and we can't ignore that when we're giving out our stars here.
I do think he is the Slim Shady of his age, yes. And then one I almost forgot, character. Now, me, obviously, not a whole lot of character development in this, but I do think that he made up for that by bringing up very relatable characters. Anybody who's been a dad, you understand Hop on Pop. You're ready to smack these children into the middle of next week. And as for Mr. Brown, who of us has not wanted to put their dog on a teeter-totter and then just catapulted them into orbit?
Me, I want to do that every single day.
With how many?
Give character 5 stars.
With poo. All right. So if we do a little bit of math here and add this up and kind of divide by 5, I think we're going to have a looks like about a 3.4. You know, it may even be a little early, but this might be up for my book of the month finalist. Just saying. So 3.4, I think that's what we're going to go with on this one. Jacob might be hacking in here in a second. So just wanted to wrap this up. I wanted to thank you for joining us. Next time, if we get time, we are going to go over the last book that Jacob actually did not manage to finish. And we're going to discuss why to this day he still has, night sweats and terrors and wakes up figuring out exactly what's going on with Slow Joe and why those Tweedle battles are battling with their paddles in a bottle and a puddle and a noodling poodle.
This is slander.
It was too much for you.
Love having you here on this episode of Book Club with the Misses.
Love to be in here. Thank you very much.
And we will catch you next time. You all know what to do.
Jazz hands.
Jazz hands.
Now we're ready.
I'm sure now.
I hit the button because you had me stop.
I did make.
There's a lot going on here.
Oh my God!
Feel the tingle. Okay, that's betrayal. I'm gonna have a serious talk with the missus. She's been meeting Ed in the afternoon while I'm out of the house. What is good? And look, Sue Shady. I love Dr. Sue Shady.
I got a call from Mom like a week ago saying, "Hey, Gryftkin had a question. Does your dad see these before they go up?" I was like, no. And that was the end of the conversation.
Yeah, I can see why. Oh my God. This has gotten out of hand.
Are we live?
We are recording.
How can you tell? I don't see a red light or anything.
I hit record first so I can have evidence that I told you we are recording.
Okay. Let's see. How does he work this thing?
Oh, yes!
Welcome back to another Inappropriate Time for a Book Recommendation. I'm your host, Josh, and over there is my literary wingman,
the Penguin.
No, that is my dear friend Jacob, who called me up and said, "Hey, Dad's videos are just not really for me. I love your videos so much more. You're so much more handsome. You've got a way better haircut."
You're not wrong.
Am I right? Is that how you said it?
That's exactly right.
Yeah, I thought so. Well, anyway, he says, how about instead of hijacking Dad's TBR, why don't we just hijack his entire channel? To which I said,
absolutely.
I mean, how could I not? Especially when it's not just you that wants to see this new direction with the channel, right?
Yeah, a couple of people have asked for it.
And I have to give the people what they asked for.
How long did it take to get these quotes together?
Talking Story is being completely rebranded as Inappropriate Times for Book Recommendations. How does that sound?
That sounds awesome.
So, Jacob, why don't you tell all the fine people at home about all the new things coming to the channel?
So the whole new brand, whole new logo, new channel banner, new intro, all the thumbnails will look different.
That video was
and
from
you know what?
months ago.
We should get Brian over at BellTube to write us a new intro song.
Has Brian made us a song?
Well, not yet, but I bet if you ask him, he might even do it for free.
No, this is not Oprah.
Well, who says that Brian can't be the next Oprah?
Stick that on a shirt.
Well, I'm okay with changing the logo, but maybe changing the man's theme song, maybe that's going a little bit too far. Maybe we should just leave that alone.
You've been given permission not to do that.
Well, either way, let's get back to the topic at hand. What book am I going to recommend this month? Can you guess what it is?
No, I cannot. I am too tired.
Well, you would have been wrong either way, because I'm going to recommend 2 books.
That's kind of surprising. I would have never guessed that.
Well, I just couldn't help myself. So without any further ado, the first book is for those who want a prolonged spooky season. This is the king of all spooky reads, and it's one of my favorite books of all time, and I'm talking about nothing less than Dracula by Bram Stoker. This is a classic for a reason, and it isn't so much as a scary book as it is just like a constant state of that looming dread. It makes you hold your breath at times, and it's got a really satisfying ending. So pick it up because it is the perfect spooky season read.
If we did an adaptation of this with Nick Cage, that would be something.
They did one. Yeah, I think it came out last year, but I haven't seen it. I wonder if it's any good.
People let us know.
Yeah, let us know down in the comments. Well, anyway, the second book is the perfect autumnal read. And of course, I'm referring to book 2 in the Empire of the Wolf trilogy, The Tyranny of Faith by Richard Swan.
Oh, I actually heard people are really enjoying that.
That's because it's absolutely amazing. It's a 10 out of 10 for me.
Really?
Yeah, it's that good. Now, I won't get into it really to avoid spoilers, but if you like book 1, then you're going to love this book. Everything is elevated. It's grittier, it's more thoughtful, the characters go deeper, some go darker, and how do I explain this next part without spoiling anything?
Metaphors.
Yeah, that works. Thank you. But there's a place that we get to explore in book 2 that was just kind of touched on in book 1 that we really get to explore that's kind of like the upside down in Stranger Things.
Really?
Yeah, it's really cool. If you've read book 1, then you know what I'm talking about.
Drink your Dr. Pepper.
Thank you. So, what do you think of this new format?
This is much more what I'm looking for. I'm enjoying it much more.
Well, thank you. But if I'm being honest, I really don't think I'm cut out to run this channel. I mean, no one can replace the John Minton. I mean, he is the master of his craft.
Yeah, that's fair.
So how are we going to explain this mutiny to him when he sees it?
I'm like a goldfish. Ignorance is bliss, right?
So you're just going to chalk it up to having a bad memory?
Absolutely. You know what? I won't even remember being here in a week.
So what's my excuse then? Who can I blame your little scheme on?
Heidi.
That could work, but then what do we tell Heidi?
I wish you the best of luck.
Perfect. Thank you for sticking around. We'll be back for more inappropriate times for book recommendations.
We do it every month.
Yes, we do it every month. So make sure you like and subscribe this channel. And don't forget to hit that notification bell because it is scientifically proven to improve your quality of life. You've been wonderful. I've been Josh O'Brien. And a huge thank you to my partner in crime,
Josh O'Brien.
Why do you always have to do that?
I thought that'd be a nice ending.
All right, that was awesome.
Oh my god!
I don't know how much time that took, but it took way too much time.
I actually know. In the email, he said it took somewhere between 15 to 20 hours.
Oh my god, Josh! Oh my god! Okay, I know that was long. I don't want you to cut a second of that.
Really?
I know that breaks every rule, but I don't care. If you can leave, I don't. All right, we're gonna have to hardcore enforce the rules. starting after that, because that was so good. That was so funny. That was amazing, Josh. And just to let everyone know, I'm about to hijack Josh's TBR. That's happening.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, we've set it up. That's going to happen. So I can't wait to talk to Josh and do that. Thank you, everybody, for sending stuff in. This is so special. It's our most favorite thing we do every month, to turn the camera around, let you guys take over. Hit us up in comments. Let us know what you've been up to, what you're reading, how your month has been. We're going to answer comments as quickly as humanly possible. It's the whole reason we started the channel.
It is.
Was to talk to people who love books like we do. The kind of books we love. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up. That helps us do everything. Sounds goofy, but it's an easy way to support the channel and help us grow.
Josh already said this.
And you see, he did it better than me. He did it better than me. And then, hey, while you're down there, hit that subscribe button. You know what? You find your people, like these people here that kind of send us stuff and cut us up and give us new things to read and brighten up our lives in so many innumerable ways. It absolutely gives us a tingle to grow this community and be a part of this community and be privileged to be somehow in and amongst all of you. Thank you so much for this privilege and honor. Thank you so much for all the time and effort, and thank you for sending everything you sent in. We are gonna see you again real soon. My name is John Minton, that is
Tyler S. You were supposed to give us a submission this month telling us how your writing journey is going, and it was not forgotten.
It was not forgotten!
I expect an update, Tyler.
We expect an update, Tyler, for the next town square. That's a good catch.
Thank you.
That's a good catch. Tyler, even if it's a paragraph, even if it's a sentence, even if it's a page, we are here to support you on your journey. You've got to let us know how you're doing, my friend.
Thank you.
Amazing, amazing catch. Thank you so much for joining us right here on Talking Story.